fuck off. Like, I don't even fucking know you. Like,
hello and welcome to our episode, Body Positivity. I'm your host, Paz.
I'm Sade.
And we're here to talk about all things to do with body positivity and how we deal with, I guess, everyday struggles.
Yeah, so in this episode, we are going to be discussing eating disorders, binge eating, body image, some things that may actually be triggering for some people. So, this is your little warning now. If you're not feeling up to listening to something like that, then feel free. But if you do want some advice on how to manage these things, then let's go.
Yes. So, because you're in the public image quite a bit, and I'm sure, like you've shared with me, you've dealt with a few things to do with like body image and things like that. Did you just want to kind of discuss some of that?
Sure, sis. So yeah, I mean, I guess I've been on Facebook, social media, doing my videos and skits ever since I was like 17, 18, and that's going on maybe like 8 years ago now. And ever since I started on the internet, like I had to grow up in front of New Zealand essentially. And when I first started, my body image and my perception of who I wasn't very strong. I wasn't very confident in myself. I wasn't very I just didn't have any confidence, and I thought that my whole shtick was being fat and funny. And I always thought that any type of like sexiness, or even if I was showing a little bit of cleavage or whatever, like I would not want to do that, just because of how low my body confidence and my self-esteem was. But then I came to find, I put on a lot of weight. At one point, I was almost 130 something kilos, which is a lot for someone who's only 5 foot. And I got a lot of comments about my body and like, oh, you just think you're funny because you're fat, and just a lot of negative comments around like my body. And then when I started to lose weight, people would say things like, oh, you just think you're hot shit now because you've lost weight, and you think you're all that, and you think you can be all like, show your tits, and it has affected me a lot. And it's actually taken me a really, really, really long time now. I'm 25, almost 26 now, to come to terms with the fact that I need to do things for me, and I need to do things that make me happy. Fuck what everyone else thinks, and you just need to live your life.
Yeah.
What about you, sis?
Yeah, I have like opposite, I guess. I've always been on the smaller side, and like I've struggled to gain weight actually. Like, I've always been, I guess, on the smaller side because I am like 5'4", like I'm short too, and so like you kind of like you can't win. You in your head you think you look bad when you're like too skinny sometimes. So in high school I had like a time where I was like 48 kgs, and I was like 16, and I was basically told if I lost any more weight that I would have to be hospitalized, and like they, because like technically that's anorexic, like you're very skinny. And it wasn't because I wasn't eating or anything. It's just I was struggling very hard with gaining weight. I was eating normally. I love my snacks, and I don't understand. I still till this day don't understand why I was losing so much weight. I didn't have anything stressful going on in my life, because sometimes, those things can contribute to you losing weight or even gaining weight. So it's like, it depends on how your body deals with stress, I guess. Yes. And I got to a point where mentally I didn't want to go out anymore. I missed out on like my formal because I felt like I wouldn't look good wearing a dress, because like you could see like my bones and stuff, and I just didn't want people to think that I was that sick, you know what I mean? So only like even when I was pregnant, I was still like kind of like okay in an okay weight. And then after pregnancy, now like I'm gaining weight and like I'm finding it hard to deal with that as well. Because I'm not used to like seeing my body this way. It's a big change, it's a big adjustment, and like my clothes don't fit me anymore. Like I'm not saying that like, you know, I'm ashamed that I'm like a little bit big. I'm happy, like I'm happy that I've gained weight, but at the same time, it's still a big adjustment for me to like kind of come to terms with, like process it, you know? So yeah, I'm still figuring that out and like still kind of like trying to love my body and love less the skin I'm in and stuff like that. So it's a process, but it's happening.
Yeah, and I resonate with you on a level, on a different level though, sis, with what you've just said, because like I lost over like 40 kilos last year. I've gained a little bit, yeah, all good. But last year I got right down to like a size 12, and I haven't been a size 12 since I was like 17, 18. So that was a really big adjustment for me too, even just going into shops. And like I would still, and mentally in my mind I would still be like, I need to get a size 18, I need to get a size 18. Like even though I knew I wasn't that big anymore, it was still like a big mind fuck, because I hadn't adjusted to my new figure. And yeah, I still felt a little bit of an imposter, I guess, buying like a size 12 and thinking, you know, because I hadn't done that for years. So it felt really weird. And I still doubted in my mind that I was actually that size. Because in my mind, I still looked big, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to come to terms with, but for me, it wasn't just like the size I was, it was also like the color of my skin. And being a brown girl, like you growing up, you get bullied in school. I had crooked teeth, so I was bullied a little bit extra. And like you kind of start wanting lighter skin, you start wanting lighter hair, lighter eyes, because that was considered what's pretty. And it's only like recently that I've started to like kind of think about like I'm actually the color I am because of where I come from, and that's beautiful. And like it's still like something that I kind of struggle with sometimes. Because till this day, like in some situations you get treated differently, and like it's
Yes.
not your fault, it's just because that's your skin tone. And it's it's considered like when people look at you, they're like they have negative thoughts
Automatic
straight.
judgment.
Yeah.
And I can resonate with you on that too, sis, because growing up, I went to, you know, very predominantly white schools, and even within the media, the beauty standard back when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10 was Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Pamela Anderson, blonde hair, blue eyes, white. And as a brown woman, or as a young brown girl, that was all I had to look up to. Like obviously we have beautiful brown women like Halle Berry and Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell, but they were never as celebrated as, you know, Paris and Nicole. Oh, Nicole's brown, actually, just jokes. But Nicole and Lindsay and Pamela. So I really struggled with that as well, because all the boys at school would call me ugly because I was brown and moldy. And when the Kardashians came along, I feel like that was a real big pivotal point for people of color all over the world. Look, I know that people would say, oh, they're white, or they're this, they're that, they've had plastic surgery, blah, blah, blah. But the way I look at it is they are Middle Eastern, and they actually were revolutionary in the standard of beauty within the media, because now big bums, big lips, you know, big boobs, all that thing, all that sort of stuff is celebrated as beauty now, whereas before it was like stick thin, blonde hair, blue eyes, right? So yeah, no, I fully resonate with you on that one, sis. It was really hard growing up being brown and accepting our beauty.
Yeah, like I guess I don't think people because people that like are not brown, they don't understand how even the littlest comment can affect someone.
Yeah.
And like obviously kids have no filter, so like that's okay. But I think their ideals and like the way they think is passed down. So if you know are, I don't want to say racist, but if you think that like, you know, being brown is like bad, and you know, you think that like people that are brown, like they can only do bad things and stuff, and like obviously you're gonna pass those like ideas onto your kids, and then your kids are gonna go to school and bully that new brown kid that just came from, you know, Middle East, India, Fiji, like, and that kid is adjusting to a new way of life first of all, and then now they're being bullied as well. And like I just think that's so unfair, and like I went through that, and like I wouldn't wish it on anybody, because I, for a long time, like for years, I felt like I was so ugly, and like, and because of what people were saying about like my skin tone, the way I look, my features. So it was difficult, but like I don't know. I don't even know like if you can even blame those kids. I would blame the parents, because like obviously it's a learned behavior.
And the media, you know,
And
they've
yeah.
perpetuated that shit so hard. And even when I was a kid, sis, like I come from a fat family, right? Like no one in my family is skinny. Like all the women in my family, you know, we've got hips, we've got tummies, we've got like big legs, big bums, you know, and because of, you know, the way the media portrayed beauty, especially back in the early 2000s, it was stick thin, anorexic, like that was the standard of beauty. So that fucked with my mum's body image, and she passed her fucked bullshit onto me. And you know, look, I want to tell a little bit of a story. It's a little bit sad, might be a bit triggering for some people, but like I'm going to tell it anyway. So my family is really, really, really fixated on like losing weight and eating healthy and just shit like that. And when I was about 8, we were over at my nana's house for dinner, and I was hungry as fuck. I was like, oh, blah blah blah, Nan, I'm starving. So she gave me a potato, like, you know, like just a little boiled one, whatever. And then my stepdad, he goes to me like, you can't eat that. Like, why can't you fucking wait for dinner? Like, oh, fatty, like blah 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 blah. And I'm like, honestly, like at that young, I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I ate it anyway. And he was like, no, put it down. And then I was like, no, like I'm eating this. Nana gave it to me. And bro, he ended up chasing me around the house, and he literally tackled me, bro, over. I had the potato in my mouth, or he scooped it out with his hands and was like, that's what you fucking get, you fat little bitch. And like just things like that. Oh bro, like honestly, that's not even the worst of the things that I went through with my parents, but that was just a story that, you know, I thought I'd just share.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's given me a real complex around eating, and like I get really nervous eating around people. It's like fucked up.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, you were so young.
Yes, sis. And like ever since then, you know, my mum, I'm gonna just say it on here. She grew up bulimic, and she always feared us getting big and getting bullied at school. So she didn't want that for us because it happened to her. But then in turn, that turned into, we literally were starved as children. And like, I never knew when enough was enough. I never knew when to stop. Like, portion control was just not like a thing for me. Like, if my parents weren't around, I will fucking stuff my fucking face, you know, because I don't know when I'm going to eat properly next. And that's really played a big part in my eating and my body image now as an adult.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'm so sorry that was something that you had to deal with. That's intense for a child, and then you've got siblings that are younger as well, right?
Yeah, it was intense, sis, but you know, now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, you've got to learn and grow and kind of forgive for all the things that happen, and kind of move on and relearn how to eat properly, and how to, like, you know, construct a nice proper meal, yeah, it's been a bit of a learning thing.
Yeah. I haven't had the same experience. Like, my dad's a big foodie, so he's always just like, if he wants something and like if it's a bit expensive, like he'll go out and buy it because he's like, why would I like not eat? It's like bitter said in my language, but like, why would I kind of, you know, save a few dollars and eat, you know, less quality stuff when I can spend a bit more and eat, you know, what I want to eat kind of thing. So we always like, my dad was always like good in that sense where like if we wanted something to eat, he'd always like go get it for us or make it for us. And he taught me how to cook when I was like, I think I started cooking when I was like 11, 12.
Aww.
So he like taught me how to cook. My mom taught me how to cook. And like there would be like, I'd have like a designated like night where I would make dinner for everyone. So like that was my responsibility. Yeah, so like, you know, and but the thing with that is like we never ate healthy. Like I don't think our food is healthy, like curries and stuff. So right now I want to be healthy. I want to like, you know, kind of, I don't want to lose weight, but I want to like tone my body because I have like belly fat and like I'm gaining weight yeah, in areas like that I don't want, like because I feel like I've got big arms. And there's like a lot. Yeah. It's in my family, like the women on my mom's side, we have like big arms. And like my belly fat, like I feel like, because I had like a C-section, so like half of my stomach I can't feel. And this, it like kind of hangs over like the cut. So I don't know, I just don't like the way it looks. And like I was so skinny back in the day where like I never had belly fat until like, you know, I got pregnant. So I was like, well, this is like weird and different. But yeah, I don't want to lose weight, just want to tone things, and like I want to eat healthy, I want to be healthy. Not in the sense where like, you know, eating greens and stuff, but genuinely be healthy. Like I want my health to be good so that I can like, you know, work properly and function, you know, efficiently. But I struggle with it like a lot because when I think about being healthy, it feels like it's overwhelming, and there's so much information out there that I feel like where do I start? You know,
it's all overwhelming, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really overwhelming with how many different options are out there and available right now. I mean, I've been doing HelloFresh because I've been sponsored by them for a few months now. But before I even was on HelloFresh, like I couldn't be fucked cooking dinner. You know, I was never equipped with the tools from my parents or, you know, just in general to know how to create or cook a balanced, healthy, yummy meal. And, you know, I grew up on fucking mixed veggies, like boiled potatoes and sausages. Like that's what we'd have for dinner. And like right now, like nah, I don't want to eat that stuff anymore. But yeah, I just feel like even as an adult now, like I still struggle with like trying to eat properly and trying to fit in like 3 whole, you know, like good healthy meals a day. It is hard, especially with how much, you know, we have to work and life just gets in the way, and thinking about dinner is the last thing. So you're like, right, well, we'll just go get a drive-through then. Fuck it.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Like, yeah, because we always had like curry and rice, curry and roti, you know, like, and like now, like, well, my parents were kind of good in a sense where like they would have a little bit of diversity. But was your mom always in charge of like food for you guys?
Always in charge of what we had for dinner, sis. Like I was actually going to mention before, like I love the fact that your parents gave you a designated night a week to cook for the family, because like that was something that I really wanted to do when I was a kid, but I was never allowed to. And do you feel as though being given that opportunity, do you feel as though that has kind of like helped you ease into adulthood and like what you eat now?
Yes. So when I moved out on my own, and like when it was just Nav and I, what I would do is I would kind of budget and be like, right, we have this X amount for the week for food. So then I would kind of like go into like, you know, the countdown and like Pack and Save and stuff and like see what's on sale. And I'd create meals like that. Obviously it does take time and sometimes people don't have that kind of time. But like I always kind of wanted to buy things and create meals that are on sale on special, because I felt like, why would you want to like waste money? And I try to make it healthy, but I also struggle with it. So sometimes we'd have like grilled cheese sandwiches for dinner and like a butter chicken night, because it was easy to think up those things because you just need to buy chicken sauce and rice, you know?
Yeah, flat out, sis.
Yeah.
And like when I first, oh sorry, just gonna,
All right.
sure I've got no bogeys. When my partner and I lived in Auckland and we were both working and he was working outside, like I wanted to make sure that the dinners I was making he was able to take for work the next day. But also like we were really broke. Like we made fuck all compared to our living costs. So when it came to buying food, we'd do things like, you know, cheap pasta, like get a pack of potatoes, just really cheap, easy meals, and like with the cheapest meat we could get. And that really fucked with me too, because I really wanted to eat nice and healthy and like buy like veggies to be able to make salads and stuff. But bro, the price of veggies is fucked. Like a kilo of tomatoes these days is almost $15. And I'm like,
Wow.
what? How?
Shit, that's expensive.
It's fucking expensive. So like food over here is just ridiculous. Like for a 2-liter milk these days, it's like $6.
What?
Yeah. And like, you know, a loaf of bread, I remember back in the days you're able to just toddle down to the local dairy and get a dollar Rivermill. But now like the cheapest you'll get with it, yeah, you can still get bread for $1 and or like $1.50 or whatever it is now. But it's just the living costs and the food costs have just gone up so much that people don't actually have time to factor in like, okay, well, is this healthy? Is this nutritious? Is this affordable?
Yeah. Wow. I think I understood the like value of, well, I understood a little bit more about health was because I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant. So it's pretty much like, this is from what I remember, is like carbs, you know, like potatoes and stuff. Why they say you should like kind of reduce your carbs is because carbs turn into sugar in your body, and then sugar turns into fat. So like it's not good for you. And like I never understood that, because like our meals were like, I want to say 80% like carbs, rice, you know, potatoes, roti. So like because I had to change, I struggled so much with changing my diet, and the only reason I was able to stick to it was because my baby's life was, you know, in my hands, and if I didn't eat right and stuff, I could cause complications for both of us. And like it helped because I had dietitians and like pediatricians and everyone like, you know, checking in with me, and like if my numbers were too high, I could always call them and they would like answer. And every week I had to send like photos of like my you know, testing results and stuff, because I tested like 4 times a day every day. Yeah, it was a lot, and I was injecting insulin like twice a week. So it was like I dealt with a lot in that sense, but it really made me appreciate like health. And like, and now like when, you know, I still have to check if I have diabetes or not. I'm so scared of doing the test, but I really need to go get it done. Because I have type 2 diabetes in my family, so eating right is really important. But like I'm neglecting it because I'm scared to find out if I have diabetes, and if I do, that means I can't enjoy the things that I enjoy, because I feel like recently, like I said to you just before, like my mental health, I feel like isn't in a good place, because I've been like kind of, I don't want to say binge eating, but eating unhealthy excessively. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm stressed about something. I don't know what it is, but like I feel good only when I eat unhealthy stuff or like junk food in an excess manner. And it's good to recognize it, but like, what am I going to do about it?
Yeah, because sometimes I don't feel satisfied after I've had like a salad or something. I'm like, fuck, I could so eat a combo right now. Like I could fucking fully just ate a fat HelloFresh, but I could still end up in the drive-through like later sometimes, you know, because I'm like, fuck, I'm just like so hungry. And like you, sis, for me, eating is like a bit of a comfort because of what I went through when I was a child. That's really like played on how I have a relationship with food these days. And it does take a lot of mental and like physical and emotional digging deep, you know, to figure it out. And yeah, it's hard, especially when you're just really busy. It's just so easy to fall into the trap of, well, I'm just gonna eat whatever. I'm just gonna go get a drive-through. I'm just gonna cook up some noodles or cook up a mac and cheese because it's just fucking like half an hour worth of my time. You know, not going to take long. And yeah, like I don't think there's enough education around, you know, having nutritious, healthy meals constantly that you like that are going to fill you up.
100%. And like, I think that meal planning and prepping is so important. And like, obviously we weren't taught that because like I grew up with like my mom who will come home and like she'll just decide on the spot what we're gonna eat, you know. And like, I think that you will save so much money if you meal plan and prep, because you'll know you only shop for the things you need, and your things won't go bad if you prep them properly. And then you always kind of not feel stumped on what to make. And if you know, like, okay, like, you know, Tuesday's a busy day for me, I'm definitely going to be tired, so let me prep everything so that when I come home things are chopped up, you know, the rice is already in the fridge cooked for me. And you kind of want to do it that way. And I think if you do it that way, you can kind of change, you know, little things here and there to be a little bit more healthy. Because if you're kind of unorganized, then like you just want to go and, you know, Uber Eats and or like drive through and eat takeout and stuff. So I'm speaking from my personal experience because I feel like, oh, it's easy to just, you know, I'll just Uber Eats it. Like I can't be bothered. But if I know that there's things in the fridge that I've prepped that are gonna go bad soon, then I'm like, okay, you know what? I just might as well spend that half an hour and just make a nice meal for us.
Yeah. Hard out. And I guess with the pressure of social media and even just the mainstream media these days, and like I honestly will say, because I've seen statistics, right, where the availability or the accessibility to social media like started around maybe like 2009. Right, like where we could access things on our phone. Before that you had to jump on a whole ass computer, you know, and Skype someone off like a proper webcam. Like everything is so accessible these days. And I feel like it's good, but in the same sense it's also negative because there are so many people out there posting, you know, like I'm not in a bad way because I post my body and like, you know, up on social media and stuff like that, but there's just so much pressure to conform to that skinny or like working out body, you know, and a lot of people struggle with their mental health because of this now. And yeah, like I said before, ever since 2009 the accessibility to social media has just grown so rapidly that so have eating disorders, mental health, you know, issues have also grown with that. So I feel like we're just constantly surrounded by the pressure to look a certain way, and it fucking sucks. So when I started my little journey with like weight loss and stuff last year, like I just took my basics that I knew, cut out carbs, cut out, like I just drank water only and went for a little walk. That made a humongous difference whereas there's people out there who are pushing like, you know, these fad diets and shit like that. I wanted to show people that there was like a healthy way to be able to do it without having to, I don't know, like take all these fucking protein shakes and bullshit that you actually don't need.
I remember your workouts.
Oh, so I haven't done a workout video in a few months now. I'm just like, fuck, I've just fallen off the bandwagon so bad because, like, like I was saying before, we just get so busy with our lives that things like exercise and eating healthy just drops off the priority list.
Oh yeah. Well, in saying that, I want to ask the audience, would they be interested in like, following our health journey maybe? Like maybe it might help people if they want to see us, like how we meal plan and prep and what steps that we're taking to live a healthier lifestyle. If you do, let us know by liking this video or just commenting and saying, yep, I'm keen to see that. Or if you have any questions, obviously you can ask us. But I thought, because I'm like obsessed, I think, watching YouTube videos where like people like meal plan and prep and go shopping. I don't know what it is about that, but I'm just like, I would just lay in bed and watch all that stuff and be like, oh, I wish I could do that but I'm lazy.
It's expensive as well.
Yes.
It's so fucking expensive. No one fucking talks about that. Like, I love being on HelloFresh. It's actually really cheap considering you get 5 meals. I get 5 meals for 3 people, and that's worth like $160 a week. That $160 is fully worth taking stress off my plate, giving having healthy, nutritious, balanced meals every single day. Like, and I'm not even just saying that because I get paid by them. It's like I'm genuinely less stressed and have less on my plate now to think about, that I can eat healthy because I've got this little, subscription going on, and I fucking love it, sis. I actually fucking love it.
It's delicious. I love it too. It's so delicious.
Oh, fucking nice.
And there's like, I think their main thing is like there's zero waste, right? Like food waste.
Yep. We don't waste. Well, like, okay, there might be like a few salad leaves left over or whatever, but like for the most part, we barely ever have leftovers.
Amazing. That's so good. That's the one thing is like, when you shop, I feel like sometimes we buy in excess and we don't realize that, we need like only 1 tomato for the week because we're going to make, that BLT or whatever. Like we buy like the whole punnet of tomatoes. So I think it's like just thinking about how much of this certain item do I need, and that's how you can like save money, you can save your time, and have like less food waste, because there's people in the world that don't have the privilege that most of us do, and like just to be conscious when you shop like that too.
Yeah, hard out, sis. And like I grew up, obviously I'm brown, and what do brown people do to celebrate? They fucking eat and get on the piss, right? Like, so I grew up with just like food all the fucking time. Well, at my nan's actually, mostly.
Yeah.
There was just food all the fucking time. And like, a lot of it did get wasted, but in the same sense, like it was sitting there and we're like, well, we're going to eat it because we don't want to let it go to waste. And that kind of also, I wouldn't say it was like a bad thing, but in a way, like it did kind of encourage overeating as well. Yeah.
For me, it was like our community. Like if you're too skinny, then like, oh, you need to eat more. You're so skinny. You look sickly. If you're like a little bit on the chunkier side, oh, you need to like eat less and exercise and go on a diet. Like it's like you're constantly in battle with like what the aunties are saying to you. And like I don't think they realized how much of a negative impact it can have on a young mind. And for them to be like, oh, I'm not perfect because everyone tells me to gain weight, lose weight, eat right, eat more. And it's like, well, when is it like when is it gonna be that I'm gonna come into contact with an auntie and they're gonna be like, wow, you look good? When?
Yeah. And like even when we'd have big family gatherings, sis, like I would just dread it because obviously like there's so much food there. I want to try a little bit of everything, I want to have a little taste of everything, and it was really hard because like, because my mum was like always constantly monitoring what I was eating, like when I'd go to family gatherings as well, like my family would also start to like, oh, that's like your third or fourth plate, you know, and like they were literally counting how much I ate. So I started to get really anxious and really insecure around eating in front of people. And like when I was alone, that's when I would start like just fucking stuffing my face. And when I got to high school, and like I had a job, and well, I had a job intermediate, but like once I had like a job, and this was when I opened my own bank account, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going for a run, and I'd literally go down to McDonald's and get a combo because I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing, because I was that like, yeah, no, so like it was a real, like I was really shamed. And I even remember at my mum's baby shower, my nana, my auntie, or my aunties, and like a couple of her friends were there, and my auntie had made this fucking mean ass lemon slice, and bitch, I was like, oh yum. But it got to a point where I was like on my maybe like my fourth, because they were like cut up into mini bite-sized pieces, right?
Yeah.
I was like on my fourth or fifth fucking slice, and like my whole like everyone there was kind of like, girl, like that's your fifth one, like we've been counting, like blah 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 blah. And it kind of, I felt really insecure, like just eating in front of people. And like to an extent now, like I still do, and I feel like people are judging me for like how much I eat, and like I hate eating at food courts, and like feeling like it's all in my head. Like I know that it's all in my head, but I don't like the fact that I've been like wired to feel like people are watching me and judging me eating. Like it's a bit fucked up.
No, I agree with you. And I feel like I feel the same way too. Like I feel uncomfortable sometimes having to eat in front of people because they're like, oh, she didn't eat anything at all. And like the aunties will say, I'll say it in my language so you kind of can hear. They'll be like, oh, uske dekha itna khana khaisra. It's like, oh, did you see him? Like he had this much to eat. Like they're constantly talking about that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, there is judgment being passed on, but you know, it can go to that person that you're talking about, because my community, they love to talk. The brown community, we love to talk shit.
Yeah.
So, and like I think image is such an important thing in the community, and like even with my skin tone in my own brown community, we're like kind of like looked down on if you're like a little bit darker. There's like a little percentage, you're like, oh my god, you're so beautiful, but most of the time it's like, oh, you're so dark, like you shouldn't wear that because you're so dark, that color doesn't suit you because you're so dark, you shouldn't have light hair because you're so dark. Like you're just constantly fighting within yourself because you keep hearing these comments coming at you all the time. And like for the longest time, like I struggled with it, and like people don't want to treat you nice just because you're brown. You're considered like lower class and stuff like that. Like it's disgusting, and like I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And I wish the society would grow the fuck up and just accept people for who they are and how they are, and just leave it at that.
Hard out, sis, because like I love a bit of reality TV, and more specifically, I love the 600-pound sisters, Amy and Tammy. Oh, I think
my god,
they are so fucking funny and just entertaining, and that they're just cool chicks, you know. But people look at them and think, oh, slobs, oh, gross, oh, yuck. And I actually remember an episode where they were going out for dinner, just before they were going to Georgia to get their consultation for their weight loss surgery. And I remember them saying that they felt really insecure sitting there eating in a restaurant because they felt like people were looking at them and like judging them, which they were. You could see it in the footage.
So
and
obvious.
Hey,
it was so obvious the way people look.
Yeah, and just you could see it in their eyes and the way that they were looking at them. They were like judging them hard the fuck out. And like I relate to that on such a big level because like you, I grew up in a brown family. I've actually got a very multicultural family, but more specifically my brown family are very like critical and will like watch you and say like, oh, you've lost weight, or like, oh, you've put on weight. Like, bro, I don't need you to comment every time you fucking see me about my fucking weight. Like, that's not the only thing about me that you could comment on, but that's the one thing they choose to always like pick at.
Yeah, that's the same with us too. Like, it's like the first comment that like will usually come out of someone's mouth is like about your weight. Oh, I hope that no one does that to my son, because I will punch them in the face. Like, I've had enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, sis, like, I'm not perfect. I'm guilty of. I would never say you put on weight, but I do like mention when I'm like, wow, you're looking good, girl. You lost a bit of weight, blah 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 blah. And I know that that's something that I need to stop doing too, because I don't like it being done to me. But yeah, I just like, I hope that when we grow up and we're the aunties, I hope that we're not passing that shit on to our kids as well.
Well, you are an auntie now.
Well, I am. I've got multiple nieces and nephews. I've got fucking eight fucking siblings, bro. And like, yeah, I always try to instill like, you're beautiful, you know, yes, we are like a little bit bigger than, you know, other girls. But we're still beautiful. And like, even growing up, going to my really, really, really white schools, I was way more developed than all the other girls at school. So I also got picked on for like having tits at like the age of 10, and shit like that. And it was really hard. Even now, like, I feel really thing about like wearing low cut tops around like my family, and even like to some extent just in general. Because of that shit that I went through as a child, and just always got looked at, called a slut, called a whore, because of my early development. And yeah, it's really something that I've had to learn and grow from.
Oh my God. I feel like I had the same experience, but like opposite. Like, I'm like I was always small, so like everything was small, so like I would get picked on for that too. Like, oh, you've got a boy's body. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you can't win. So like, what do you want from me? Yeah.
Oi, but that's why I love that we're having this conversation, because you and I are on like the extreme other end of the spectrum from each other, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember like, boys saying things like that to girls who were like, you know, smaller and, you know.
Yeah. And like sometimes, because like, you know, like when you're in like primary school, intermediate, high school, like the girls that, you know, had the lighter skin and like were like developed a little bit more, and you know, they had lighter eyes, lighter hair, they're the ones that were like, you know, desired. So like if you had a crush on somebody, you felt like you couldn't like pursue that crush, because obviously they wouldn't be interested in you, because you're a brown girl with dark eyes, dark hair, and you have fucked up teeth, and you're not like developed like yet, and you felt undesirable. And then like, you know, that just kind of ties into like your mental health, and you just start believing what everyone's saying to you, and no one knows you better than you know yourself, but then you just believe everything that's being told, and like you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm too skinny, or like I'm too big, or I'm too dark, you know. Just it's annoying now, but like back then I used to take it so seriously. I wish I hadn't.
Oh, I wish I hadn't listened to those fuckwits at school either, because I was more developed than the other girls at school, people would automatically correlate that with me as being fat. Girl, I was like a size 8, and I had ginormous knockers that were like fucking double D when I was like 15, 16. But because I had big boobs, like people would say, oh, you're fat, blah, blah, blah. And because I had a big bum, people would be like, oh, you're fucking fat, like, rah, rah, rah. Bro, I had the nicest body. I'm like, I look at my old photos and I cry like fuck, because I'm like, how the fuck did people look at me and think, oh, fat? Like, I just don't. I just like the whole thing that I want people to take from this is just shut the fuck up. Don't comment. If it's not constructive, shut up. Like, don't comment on other people's bodies.
The only thing you can say is, wow, you look good. That's it. Leave it there. You don't need to be like, you lost weight. And I know I did this to you today.
It's
Earlier.
fine, sis.
I'm going to correct myself and not do that anymore because I know that's damaging.
It's okay, sis. It's actually nice to hear that again because I thought I'd put on so much.
No, I told you.
So I was a little bit like, oh, she's skinty again.
You look good. You do look good. You look happier too. So it's good to
Thanks,
see that.
girl. I am. You know I am.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I think it's about you. If you, okay, like obviously the aunties are always going to talk, but it's up to you to educate them. Put them in their place in a nice way. You don't have to be rude, but be like, auntie, thank you for saying that, but it's not right for you to say that because it affects me mentally and I want to be in a better place with my mental health. So I'd appreciate if you no longer comment about my weight. That's the nicest way you can say something. Educating, you know, the generations before us is the only thing we can do. Sometimes we can't change them, but at least we can let them know that what they're doing is not okay.
Yeah, because I've tried to have those conversations with my family too, sis. And in the beginning, I was like, hey, like I'd appreciate it if you didn't comment on my weight all the time. Like it just gets irritating and frustrating for me. And like fast forward maybe like 5 years forward and they're still doing it. Now I'm just like, oh, fuck up. Like you can fucking talk. Like it's getting a bit like toxic now for me. So like I know this isn't for everyone, but I actually distanced myself from my family a lot for my own mental health because I couldn't be bothered with the constant comments and the constant like judging of like what I was eating or how I was eating. And it's actually been really good to not have that outside input constantly from other people.
It's a whole lot of noise.
Yeah. Noise that you don't need.
Like 100%. And like I feel like sometimes it's not just about like your image. Most of the time is also about like the choices you're making in life. Everyone has something to say about the choices you make in life. And like if you're someone that like doesn't care, good on you, man. But like sometimes these things get to you and you're just like, oh, I can't do anything right. And sometimes these aunties, they don't look inside what's happening, you know, inside their own homes and like what their own kids are doing.
Worry about what the fuck your own child's doing, drug dealing, and your husband's out fucking gallivanting around the mutu, you know, getting with other women. Like worry about yourself. And as well, sis, like I think it's so important to get to a place within yourself where you actually don't give a fuck about what people think about you. I'm kind of almost at that point now, like sometimes things will get to me and sometimes I'll have a bit of a tangi wito about, you know, mean comments or whatever online, but I'm like, you know what? I'm a fucking badass bitch. Who the fuck are you, bitch? Like, I don't even know you. You don't pay my bills. You don't know my story. You don't know where I've come from. All you see is what you see now. So you've got to really like find that self-love and self-esteem within yourself to actually start not giving a fuck about what people think about you. Because I think that's a lot of where my like confidence stems from is I don't give a fuck. Like to an extent, yeah, I do. Like there are some days where I'll be like, yeah. But for the most part, I'm like, fuck off. Like I don't even fucking know you. Like what's it called when you don't know me but you don't like me? Oh, weirdo.
A fan.
A fan.
I think I'm on the path to that. Like, you know, I'm not there yet, but I want to be more like you where I don't give a fuck about what anyone says about me. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, you don't pay my bills. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, they're so right. And like, it gets in your head. And then you kind of like step back and you're like, shit, I let them get there. And like, obviously, you know, sometimes people say things just to get at you and make you upset because they love that they affected you in some way.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just on a journey and I'm getting there slowly. Like now that I'm a mom and like, you know, only my parents were like kind of there for me and helped me through all this stuff. And like, you know, I feel like only they can have an opinion if they want to have an opinion. But my parents are very like, they're very open when it comes to like my appearance. They're very supportive. Like my mom will sometimes say like, oh, you know, you need to kind of like, you know, wear like tighter clothes around your stomach area because like after you give birth. But that's her giving advice from her own experience, which is fine with me. But sometimes she'll comment on like, oh, your arms look a little bit fat, and I'm like, yeah, well, so do yours. So what do you want me to do?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what those are? So I'm really bad for it. Like, it's something that I need to work on. If someone says something negative to me, I'll be like, oh, look at yourself. Like, that is definitely something that I need to work on. But like, in the same sense, like, I wish people would look inside themselves and begin to grow. So, and just focus on them rather than focusing on what everyone else does. Because at the end of the day, people who are projecting their insecurities and like talking shit about you, it says more about how they feel about themselves than it does about how they feel about you, you know?
I never think of it that way. Like you just kind of get so like into what they're saying, you kind of don't think about those things. Like maybe they're projecting their insecurities on you. That's a good way to think. Thank you. I'm gonna think about like if someone says something to me, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's because you don't like yourself.
Yeah, well, so it's like, because I am on the internet and I do post up my body and my skits and things like that, I have every motherfucker like putting in their 2 cents. Like, for the most part, everything's like mostly positive, which thank you guys, love you. But there is the odd fuckwit who will come on and say like, oh, blah, 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 blah about me, you know, negative shit.
Yeah.
And look, I'm only human, okay? So I go look on their pages and I'm like scrolling through their profile pictures and I'm like, but you hate yourself like more than you hate me. So like, I'm okay with that, you know? And that's what people do. People who are unhappy with themselves will try and make others feel as unhappy as they do.
Wow, that's like a really good way of thinking. I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome, sis.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
like
yeah, because like the people who actually like uplift me and like say really nice things and comment on my stuff are like bad bitches, bro. Like, you know, like queens supporting queens vibes, and I fucking love that, you know. And when these people being with their paru wairua, that's because they're fucking paru wairua, and Buddha gets
and I think that's what we need more of is women, you know, uplifting women and
yeah.
you know, us, you know, leading the way into like, you know, the younger generation to, you know, support each other and like accepting differences. Like not everybody has to look the same and be the same for it to be deemed attractive. That in reality, beauty is definitely in the, you know, in the media, like, oh, you know, this is the standard, but it's not. It never should be like that. And everyone's different, and that's beautiful. That's what beauty is.
The world would be so boring if we all looked the fucking same. If we were all the same size, if we all liked the same things, how boring would that be? We'd all just be fucking robots and clones of each other. You know, the reason why we have amazing art and, you know, just cool shit in the world is because we all think different, because we're all different people and our own individual person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, also, sis, I'm just going to talk a little bit about something.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, when I was a kid, I was like quite developed. So, like, I'm going to talk about something a bit triggering here: sexual assault.
Okay.
And I was actually sexually assaulted by one of my uncles when I was fucking 11 years old. Yeah. And that also fucked with me in a way where I would cover myself up and like I would just, you know, I would dress so that people couldn't see my body, and I let myself go a lot so that, you know, people wouldn't like find me attractive because I didn't want to be like touched like that anymore. And that was like fucked for me because like I didn't even really come to that realization maybe until like a couple of years ago, that of like what happened, the effects of what happened. And yeah, I mean, like my mum, she really she kind of put shit in my head where she would like sexualize me and be like, well, you know, you can't wear low cut tops because, you know, you can see your boobs and men like might look at you, and it made me really self-conscious about these things. And it actually made me to the point where like I was like, right, I'm just gonna look ugly. And it kind of reflects through like my early adulthood, like late teenage years, like kind of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, where like I had no self-confidence. Like I wouldn't want to like even show my boobs or like wear a low cut top because I was just so like fucked from that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And also from like how my mum would like talk about that shit with me and say like don't be sexual. Hey,
did you tell anyone?
Oh girl, it took me years like to kind of tell anyone, because it was like one of my uncles, you know. I thought that I was the bad person for like telling on him. Right. And like it's also kind of fucked because it started like really young, where I remember one day we were at the airport and my granddad was about to go to Samoa, and my uncle was there, and he put his arm around me and like started like touching my tits right in front of my family, bro. Like, and I was like, I just froze up and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then my mum was like, wait, get your fucking hands off her, rah, rah, rah. But like nothing after that was done, and like no one called him out on his shit. So like obviously once he got the opportunity to like do what he did, like no one ever called him out, so he had access to me constantly.
Oh my God. Once again, I am so sorry. That is not what I would want anybody to go through, especially that young.
Not
and
even
the
my
fact
enemy,
that
bro.
like bro, like your mom saw that and she should have like done more than just been like, oi, get off, you know? And there should have been a conversation of some sort, and don't you dare be alone with her ever again.
Yeah.
Like, I have no other words. Like, I'm so, like, fuck that.
It's okay. So it's like I've kind of come to peace with it now, which is why like I can speak about it openly without crying anymore. But, you know, I also wanted to share that so that other people, you know, if anyone else has experienced things like that, because I know that there'll be heaps of girls out there who have been through that and who struggle with their body image because of going through that. So yeah, I just thought it was important to kind of share with people.
Of course. And it's never your fault. I want everyone to get this and keep it locked into your mind. It's never your fault. You did nothing wrong. You did nothing to cause this. It is their fault and they are fucked up, and you need to go and get justice of some kind. Tell somebody, tell the world, because it's not your fault. You should never be embarrassed because it was not you.
No. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you.
That's okay. That's just
I
swear to, I don't know what I would do if anyone did that to us. Yeah.
Bro, if that was my daughter, I'd be fucking Batista bombing them through a fucking glass table, bro. Like, nah. Oh.
No, legit, like I would just be so, like my parents were very protective of us. So like we were only allowed to sleep over at like my uncle's house because he had kids our age. And like that was it. No like sleepovers at a friend's house because my mom's like, nah, I don't trust anyone with you guys. And like if your friends want to sleep over, they can come here because this is a safe place.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know, eh? Like you never know whose house you're sending your children to. It's like,
yeah, that's right. I feel like, I guess the only thing I would want people to remember is like you looking the way you do is okay. It's just because somebody else or the media, society says like, you know, you should be like this, you should be like that. Fuck that. Who gives a crap about that stuff? They don't live in your head, you do. So accept who you are, and if you want to make changes, good. If you don't, good. Like it's okay to want to make changes, it's okay to want to remain the same. Nothing is like, there's no wrong like answer, I guess, if you could say that. There's nothing wrong with being different, and you should accept, and you know, it's beautiful to be different because there's something that's unique about you, and that's just you. So that's what I want people to take away. If they take away anything from this, is it's okay to be different. And I'm still accepting that and coming to terms with that. So,
Me too,
you know, you don't have to be there right now, but as long as you kind of have that in your head somewhat, which it's, you know, we've done our job, I guess, as aunties.
It is a big process though, sis, like learning about yourself, learning what makes you feel good, learning like what makes you feel like you know, and like I would even say like around 2017, 2018, when I was living in Auckland, it swallowed me the fuck up and made me forget who I was and what I loved. And like more recently, I started getting back into like playing my piano again, like making music again, like playing football again. And like even just making those small changes and like doing things that I used to love has made me feel like myself again, and I feel good again. And even just doing like little things like self-care, like, oh god bro, like I have to pluck my eyebrows or like get them done. Oh shit, I think I just smudged them. Like just getting your eyebrows done, or like even just, I don't know, like getting your nails done. If that, you know, if that's something that makes you feel good, like do more of that. Do more things that, you know, add to your life and add to your, I don't know, your confidence, because everyone's different. Not everyone's going to dress like me. Not everyone's going to talk like us or like what we like, but you know who you are within yourself. And like body positivity is more than just the exterior and how you feel about yourself on the outside. It's about feeling like good on the inside as well.
Yeah, self-care, very important. Yes.
Self-care.
Thank you for watching this episode, and if you liked it, give us a thumbs up, and make sure to follow our social media, our Twitter, Instagram. We have a Facebook page as well. If you have any questions, if you'd like us to know anything, please send us a DM on any of those, or you can even email us. All the links will be down below. If you haven't already, check out our previous episodes and let us know what you think. Thank you for joining us.